How's it going today, guys? How you all doing out there? Hope you're doing really well. Here in Japan, here in Tokyo, Japan, we've gone 5 straight days without a single hour of sunshine. So things are getting a little bit dark and gloomy, and it looks like it's going to be like that again tomorrow. But then on Sunday, fingers crossed, we're going to have some better weather. And my goodness, do I need some of that. This lockdown is getting a bit old, and I could do with a bit more outside time, especially when that involves my little girl and taking her out by the river for a walk and for some fun. But enough about that. Let's get into this shoe today. Let's talk about what's going on. Hopefully you guys out there in the world are doing fine and are ready to look at this shoe and answer that question that I posed to you in the title of this video, which is this the most sustainable shoe out there? And we'll get into that today because we have got a couple of shoes to compare this to, specifically from the Adidas line. But then of course there are the details of this shoe and the unique branding on there. There's some really nice elements in the design of this shoe as well as the story of the shoe. And we'll get into all that today as we take a close-up look at the Converse Chuck 70 Renew Carhartt. This is the Tokyo About 23 Sneaker Channel, Tokyo About 23 Sneaker Channelです。毎日アップするので、毎日見てください。Every single day from Tokyo, Japan, I bring you content about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker news, and sneaker reviews. And I'm going to answer a question that somebody asked me in the comments. And I don't know if that person watches every single video of mine. If my regular viewers are watching, thank you very much. You guys who are watching for the first time, thank you very much. This person, I can't remember who it was, but in the comments asked the question, do you speak Japanese? And the answer to that is yes, I speak pretty good Japanese. Even made a few videos in Japanese, and I would like to actually make one video a week in Japanese, but while we're in this lockdown, it makes it a lot harder for me to research the videos and to prep them, and prepping them in a second language is even harder. So the amount of Japanese content on the channel right now is a bit less than I would like it to be, but when we get out of this, they're talking about in a couple of weeks time lifting a lot of the restrictions, so hopefully I'll be able to get back to that regular content. And speaking of regular content, let's get straight into it and talk about this shoe. Now I say this in tons of videos. If I ask a question in the title of the video, I answer it quite soon in the video. I don't leave it until like the very end to keep you guys hanging on. I'm not like that. I prefer to do it this way. The question in this video is, are these the most sustainable shoe out there? And the answer to that is Parley and Futurecraft. So let's have a look at the Parleys first. These are probably the most famous, I suppose, or most commonly known recyclable sneaker out there. And the Parley line at Adidas, they've come out with quite a few shoes, and the basic philosophy of the line is that they actually take trash from the oceans, plastic trash, and convert it into the threads that tie a shoe together and the stitching that ties a shoe together. And they say that it's something like 10 or 11 plastic bottles per shoe, or per pair of shoes, I think it is, that they're saving from the ocean. So this is trash that's already gone out there in the oceans, and they take it out of the oceans, clean the oceans up, and then use that to make shoes. So that's the Parley line. And then you've got the Futurecraft Recycle line, which is not yet established. I think it's going to come out this year or maybe next year. And what you can see on the green screen behind me here is the two sort of projected colorways to come out in that. And the thing is, as beside them, you'll see like grains or something, or the sneakers have been like broken down into their smallest kind of parts, because what it is that line of sneakers, everything on the sneaker is made of the same material, so you can just kind of grind it down and shred it up into its smallest parts, melt it down, and then use that material to remake a brand new sneaker. And the idea is that you wear the pair of sneakers for a year, you take them back to Adidas, give them to Adidas, and they recycle them, churn out a new pair of sneakers, give them back to you another year, and then you're not actually, after the first purchase, you're not actually using any more resources in those Futurecraft. And then what we've got today with these Converse Chuck 70 Renew in collaboration with the Carhartt line is that they've taken trash, specifically fabrics trash, that was destined to go to landfill. So this isn't trash that was already out there like the Parleys. This is trash that was on its way into the world, and they've diverted it from going into landfills and taken it to the production. And what it is in particular is its fabrics. Now it's the fabrics of the upper which we're talking about here, and on that upper, if we take a look at it, you can see that there are basically 2 colors, but it's actually 3. Most people look at these and say beige and navy blue, but it's actually beige, navy blue, and black, and we'll get into that in a minute. But that upper material on there is made of fabrics, clothes, utility clothes, whatever, that have been taken from the trash that was, the truck or whatever that's going to the landfill, diverted. Now, what they talked about two numbers. One was 100,000 pieces of material, and another one was 1,000 articles of clothing. So if you think of like a jacket with pockets and lapels and lining and things like that, maybe each one of those features on there is a piece of material, but as a whole, it's a jacket. So 1,000 jackets or 100,000 pieces of material, and they've taken these three particular materials actually, because of the black, and then used that to make the shoe. The interesting point on this is that the individual shoes that you'll buy may have some wear on them from the fabrics being worn because they are used, or may have a little bit of, I don't know if we want to say dirt or grime, but use to them, so that each pair of these shoes will be semi-unique in that they have use. The materials have use, and therefore there's a bit of life in that material before they get made into shoes, which I think is kind of interesting. Full circle, coming back to that question, are these the most sustainable sneakers in the world? I would actually have to say I'm going to go with, I think, the Future Craft. If you can make a shoe that you can 100% recycle and then recycle again and again, I'd have to say that that's pretty high up there. Parley, taking the trash out of the oceans, you know what? I think it's better what Converse are doing and stopping it from going into nature as opposed to taking it out. But both of them are very important, and also the Futurecraft recycling are very important. So let's say it's a tie, because they're all doing a good job of helping our planet and helping to make sure that the sneaker world, and I read recently, actually, and I didn't think about this, but I read recently that one pair of sneakers is the equivalent to a 10-mile drive in terms of the amount of impact it has on the environment, which interested me. I've never thought of it that way. So it's great that Converse and Adidas too, and then other lines as well, I'm sure, are bringing out these recyclable sneakers. Now, looking at the details on this one, let's have a look at it, because I think we'll look at the, I don't know if I can do this, we'll look at the pair so you can get that idea of the sort of mismatched size. Now, when I first looked at these, I thought, oh, there's one in blue and there's one in beige. I didn't realize it was actually one sneaker instead of two, and it reminded me of the Black History Month. Now, there's a couple I'll put up here. One's a very flashy Black History Month with lots of color on it, and then the other one was a green, sort of deeper single tone sneaker, and that had a lot of mismatch between, I think it was between the left and the right sides, as opposed to the left and the right shoes, the medial and the lateral side, as opposed to the left and right shoe. But what we've got going on here is a very similar thing, because you've got the lateral side on both the left and the right sneakers in that navy blue, the medial side on both the left and right sneakers in that beige, and then the black that I talked about comes in on the tongue and on the back where the spine sort of holds the sneaker together. Now, a lot of people miss that black on there because they just assume it's navy blue, the same as the lateral side, but I'll zoom in somewhere either on the tongue or on the heel where you can see very clearly that it's actually black with navy blue, and then the beige on the other side. So basically, outside edge, lateral sides, both sides navy blue, inside edge, medial side in beige, and then the tongues up the middle, and then down the spine on the back in black. And let's stay on the spine on the black, the black spine on the back, to have a look at one of the neat features on this that I really like. I always like it when I see this kind of thing in a sneaker, and what you're looking at there is the license plates on the back of these guys, and you can see hopefully that they're different. One giving a very sort of big shout out to the Renew side of things, and I think both of them, if I remember rightly, and I can't remember very clearly, I don't think either one of them mentions Carhartt, but I do think one of them has the Carhartt branding on there, and the other one has the Converse branding on there, but they don't actually say Carhartt on there, but the one does say Renew, and I don't think the other one does too. But talking about that branding that's on there on the back, it's cool that they're different. That always makes me appreciate a sneaker, because it's very easy and very cost effective just to churn out the same thing for both the right and the left shoes. But by making it unique on the right and the left shoes, you know that they've taken the time to think about design above cost. And for me, that makes me trust a sneaker a lot more. But then taking that license plate thing there with a different design left and right, let's go up and onto the tongues where you can see the Carhartt branding up on there with the C. And I originally thought that it was different for the left and the right shoes, but it's not. I think it's exactly the same for the left and the right shoes. And I think I'm also right in saying that if you go down onto the medial side where that disc for Chuck 70s is, it's again the same on the left and right shoe. I don't think they've played with the branding on there, but I think they could have, and I think they maybe should have. I think they could have brought a bit more uniqueness to the tongues and the brandings on the medial side. But maybe I'm wrong in that. Maybe there's more details out there that give you a look at that and have a bit more more information, but as far as I can see, this is what I'm seeing. And particularly the reason why it's hard for me to know these things is because now that I'm dropping videos, making videos every day. I've been dropping daily videos since December 2018. So that's technically 3 years, but it's not. But like 2018, 2019, 2020 daily videos. But I used to drop them in batches. You know, I'd make a batch of videos and then drop them over a few days. But because I'm in this lockdown, I'm at home and I'm shooting at home, then I'm making one video per day. Right now it's just before midnight on Friday, and this is Saturday's video, so less than 24 hours time. But that gives me the opportunity to find shoes at the very last minute that are very current, and that's what I see in these guys, is a very last minute and very current shoe. So I'm glad that I got that opportunity to sort of find them. But what it does mean is that I have less time to research the shoes. Usually I spend a week researching, you know, the shoes for the following week, but now I only have like a day to do it because I'm dropping daily sneakers and daily videos. So if out there, you know more about this shoe and you know more about that branding on the media side or more about the branding up there on the tongue, please let me know. The last thing to do though, speaking of being up there near the tongue, is to look down on it from above and look into that insole, and you can see the insole on these guys. I think I'm right in saying that the branding's in there as well, and they have interesting design going on the insoles of these guys. But to me, you know what, the shoe looks great, the design's fine. I like Carhartt. I'm going to throw a picture behind me here of one of the earliest videos I did, because I remember doing a Carhartt video, but I can't remember which brand, maybe Nike. And I remember an American friend of mine telling me that Carhartt in America is just like, you know, whatever sort of thing, but then here in Japan it's big. It's like, wow, that's a cool brand. So it's got brand status here, whereas back in America it's got a more regular status, if that's the right way of putting that. So it's a big shoe. It'll be a big shoe here in Japan, the Carhartts. But that whole the collaboration side of it, the coolness of the shoe side of it, both great things. The design on the shoe, especially that license plate on the back with the different look, and then the mismatch between the lateral and the medial sides, all great, but not as important as the story and the narrative, which is that these shoes, the materials that made them, were destined for landfill and were destined for the pollution effectively and trash in the world, and they've diverted that and made a shoe, and that's the important part. And if you take one thing from this video, take that one thing I said earlier, which was that the shoes that you get if you buy these, they might not be as clean as you would think an original shoe should be. There could be a bit of wear and tear, there could be a bit of roughing up on it, but that's actually a badge of honor, because that's you wearing something that's been recycled, and it's proof that these weren't just churned out on a production line, but they actually have a story. Big noise outside, and a story and a purpose, if you like. So for me, it's a story over the design on these guys. Okay, for now it's time for me to sign off. Thank you guys for checking out the content. I truly do appreciate it. I'm still trucking along, getting this daily content going, even with this, these difficult times that we're all in. But here in Japan, at least, things are looking better and looking calmer, and it looks like going into June we'll be getting back towards some semblance of normality. But like most people in the world, we wonder if the dip that is now, once we reopen, is going to lead to wave 2. But fingers crossed. Let's be positive about it, look on the bright side of things, and look forward and stay positive right now. For now though, time to sign off. And lately I've been saying, well, for many months I've said the same thing at the end of my videos, but lately I've been trying to jazz it up a little bit, so I'll keep doing that, and I'll do what I say at the end of every single one of my videos, which is that I do this every single day, and that means that you, but especially you, are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.